He got beat up too. Got this shit. Yeah, already. So you're not condoning more violence. What? Everybody you telling me about don't matter.
In 2024, Chicago rapper Lil Durk was at the pinnacle of his career. One of the leading pioneers of drill music, the violent modern incarnation of gangster rap, over the course of his 14-year career, he'd released a series of mixtapes and albums that cemented his place as one of the most influential and impactful gangster rappers in history, and earning him the nickname The Voice.
I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm gonna be real. Maybe he did, and I'm just not aware of it, bro. That nigga did not earn the name The Voice. The nigga started calling himself The Voice, and niggas just ran with it.
Finally winning one in 2024 for his inspirational hit song All My Life with fellow rap megastar J. Cole. The song went double platinum, selling 2 million copies by the end of 2023. An uplifting anthem for the streets, it included an infectious hook where Durk claimed that all his life, people had been trying to hold him down. He rapped that they never thought he would make it out, but they couldn't take him and they couldn't break him. In his verse, he admonished the media for calling him a menace and using his past against him. He rapped about sitting down with the mayor of Chicago and politicians in an
Lori Lightfoot chicken head ass, and this nigga's a clown too. Brandon Johnson's goofy ass. Anyway,
to change his image, Durk had presented himself as a misunderstood and falsely persecuted artist who was trying to provide a positive message to the downtrodden community he'd emerged from. But it would turn out that this may well have been one big facade, as the world would soon find out the dark reality behind Durk's music was much worse than anyone could have ever imagined. As on October the 24th, 2024, rap fans around the world would get news of a bombshell allegation as federal prosecutors would announce that they had charged 5 people connected to Lil Durk's OTF record label and rap group with the murder of a young man named Savia Robinson, aka Lil Pab, the cousin of rival rapper Quando Rondo, who had been brutally shot to death 2 years earlier at a gas station in Los Angeles. With Pab's death and the chilling aftermath caught on camera and broadcast on the news for the whole world to see.
New details tonight in a deadly shooting near the Beverly Center. We've learned the victim is a friend of rapper Quando Rondo. Video from the scene appears to show Quando Rondo distraught while first responders move the body. So far, no arrests have been made.
It all started at this mobile gas station at 5:30 Friday evening. LAPD says witnesses heard multiple gunshots, then watched a couple cars zoom off. 3 people in one car shot at this black Cadillac Escalade. It's unclear if those inside shot back. Deputies found it peppered with bullet holes and a shattered window. One man inside, a member of Rondo's entourage, had been shot. The 23-year-old was taken to the hospital where he died. Shots fired, a fight taken to the streets, and this chaotic scene, the ending of a shooting that started in Los Angeles, California. Sheriff's deputies pulling out a man who had been shot in an SUV. Savannah rapper Quando Rondo, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
The details and footage of this disturbing murder would be seen and read all around the world. But not only was it a brutal hit, carried out in broad daylight with no regard
what the fuck is that on your face, bro? What the fuck is that on your face, bro?
Safety of the public, but it took place next to one of the most popular tourist attractions in the city, the Beverly Center shopping mall. A brazen murder that ironically bared the hallmarks of a similar murder carried out in Chicago 2 years prior, where another rap rival of Lil Durk's, FBG Duck.
I mean, it's damn near just like it. In the popular section, he was in the white part of Chicago where they got all the nice places, Gucci and all other shit, and they just blicked him down broad daylight.
Was gunned down by a group of 6 men, with that crime also being caught on surveillance footage in its entirety.
And if King Von was still alive, his ass would have been in jail for this.
Once again in broad daylight in a busy tourist hotspot, a high-end fashion district, with the murder happening right outside the Dolce & Gabbana store.
Well, Rob, Chicago police tell me that these 3 victims were targeted, that 4 men in 2 different vehicles came down Oak Street, stopped right here in the middle, and started firing. Lights, sirens, and crime scene tape taking over one of Chicago's most notable streets. Word is spreading on social media that the 26-year-old man pronounced dead is a well-known Chicago rapper.
To see this happen in the middle of the day is very, very disturbing.
And just like in the murder of Lil Pab, FBG Duck was left to die in the middle of the street, traumatizing innocent members of the public, one of whom was even hit in the crossfire.
Hey y'all, what's going on? I'm here, I'm in the Gold Coast. They shot FBG Duck, man. I don't know who shot him, man. Ran into this, y'all. Man.
But interestingly, all of the men who were involved in the murder of FBG Duck were found guilty of murder, despite the fact that for over a year while the case was being built, they seemingly ran free, expecting no consequences and incriminating themselves extensively. Some of those people involved in the murder were dead by the time the FBI swooped in and delivered justice.
Like King Von.
And many of those involved were close friends of Lil Durk himself. One of those convicted, Marcus Smart, known in the streets.
Well, what's his name? Fuck. No. I know exactly what his name is. Fuck. He got songs with Von. Shit. I promise she's gonna pop up on the screen. I'm gonna be like, damn, I did know that. I can't remember, bruh. Fuck. I'm blanking right now.
And on songs, as Muwop was a very close friend of Durk's, even being seen on flights with Durk, flexing wads of cash shortly before his arrest and posing for pictures, calling himself Gangsta Killer. All of this isn't a good look for Durk, but the most important piece of the puzzle is another infamous figure in the Chicago gangland, as well as its buzzing drill music scene. Infamous Black Disciple member and apparent leader of the O-Block faction of the gang, King Von. Allegedly, Von had orchestrated the murder of Duck and put a six-figure bounty on his head prior to.
If he was still alive, he'd be in them bars. Hey, this will be him and Durk part 2. They had this shit happen like, what, 4 or 5 years ago? 4 or 5? No. Definitely not 4 years ago because he died 4 years ago. Like in 2018, 2019, him and Durk were both fighting bodies. They were both had like a joint case where they were fighting bodies. They couldn't talk to each other the entire fucking case.
Murder. But this wasn't Von's first time taking a life in Chicago. Von had allegedly killed 7 people in the gang war between the Black Disciples and the...
And this nigga didn't even do shit. He was a bystander. He got a shot at a party. He wasn't even gangbanging or no shit.
Gangster Disciples in Chicago.
And this is how I know it, because I watched this video.
Somehow, Von always managed to evade justice, either beating his murder charges in court due to lack of evidence, or not being charged at all due to the fact that his murders were usually committed in the dead of night in the slums of Southside Chicago, rather than the broad daylight assassinations that his friends would later carry out in front of the public. King Von was one of Lil Durk's best friends, and when Von beat his last murder charge at the end of 2017, he decided to follow Lil Durk's footsteps, becoming a drill rapper too, and openly rapping about the many murders he'd allegedly committed. Von's raps, openly bragging about real murders he'd apparently committed, made him a star in drill music, and with Lil Durk's help and guidance, he quickly became the most buzzing gangster rapper in drill music. But in his heart, Von was still a violent thug, and his tendencies to commit brazen violence would begin to impact Durk's career. In 2019, Von and Durk, along with 2 other people...
This is exactly what I was talking about. So it was 2019, 5 years ago.
...would be accused of attempted murder and armed robbery, with the 2 appearing in court together.
Case against a rapper...
And it would have been the same court case now. Because they would have both been locked up for the FBG Duck shit. Durk actually got a little bit more time because of that shit. He's definitely going to get that FBG shit slapped on him too.
Shooting outside of the varsity will move forward. Today, Lil Durk appeared in court where a judge ruled there was enough evidence for him to go to trial. On Friday, detectives from Atlanta and Chicago testified in the criminal case against rapper Lil Durk in Fulton County Court. They say around 5 in the morning on February 5th, Lil Durk, whose real name is Dirk Banks, and his co-defendant Devon Bennett were seen on camera involved in shooting Alexander Witherspoon, a person police say they knew.
They were hanging out. They went to a studio to make music.
The rapper and Bennett listened to the evidence against them in court. Police told the judge later that night the victim, Banks, Bennett, and others went to a nightclub, a gas station, and ended up in the parking lot of the varsity. That's when Witherspoon said he was robbed and shot.
Interestingly, Durk looked stressed and nervous in court, while Von looked comfortable and in a familiar domain. Durk and Von would refer to themselves over the years as the Evil Twins, and in one song titled Evil Twins, they referred to themselves as that and went back and forth, repeating, "If you do it, I'ma do it," even saying go hop out the car and do it.
If you do it, I'ma do it. Go hop in the car and do it.
Clearly, Von was a dark and negative influence on Lil Durk and his career. Von was in the habit of doing real crimes and rapping about them in his music without a care for who heard it. And if Von did it, then Durk would begin doing it too. But unfortunately for the Evil Twins, Von would suddenly die in November 2020 after launching an unprovoked beating on the rapper Quando Rondo in front of an Atlanta hookah lounge. Sometimes in life, every action has a reaction, and the reaction from this beating resulted in one of Quando's friends, Lil Tim, jumping out of the car, opening fire, and killing King Von. Ironically, Von, the demonic killer turned rapper who had seemingly murdered 7 people in Chicago and got away with it, ended up getting shot dead after starting a fistfight with a rapper rather than in a shootout with gangsters. His feud with Quando Rondo started on the internet rather than in the streets, off the back of a back and forth with Quando's friend and label mate NBA Youngboy, who seemingly didn't want to proceed with a collaboration with King Von.
Label mate? You mean label head? The fuck? That nigga run that shit.
Followed by a petty back and forth where Von took pictures with the mother of Youngboy's child. Von essentially died over nothing more than an internet back and forth with a rapper, turned fight, turned self-defense shootout, and in the end, he was no longer here to face the music for the murders.
It wasn't even self-defense. That nigga wasn't even being attacked. What the fuck? It'd be different if Quando was the one who shot.
He'd done and arranged. But after King Von died, Lil Durk was still running free. And interestingly, after Von's death, Durk was able to make a maneuver and have the attempted murder and armed robbery charges he caught with Von miraculously dropped. The sudden and tragic death of King Von meant that Lil Durk had a second chance to escape the cycle of violence and focus on his music career. But despite his promising rap career, it would seem that the death of his evil twin, King Von, consumed Lil Durk. And in the midst of the killing of one of Chicago's most dangerous rappers, who seemingly always got revenge for any of his friends that were killed, a dark trend would emerge, where fans would goad Lil Durk, begging him to get revenge or slide for Von, with rival rappers like 6ix9ine even mocking Durk openly and asking why he hasn't avenged his friend, ultimately showing off the infamous text that said "slide for Von" in blood in the music video for his song Gine, and rapping that his friend got shot and he just made music about it, taunting Durk, telling him to get a gun and go and get some get back, and saying that he knew he wouldn't ride out and get revenge for his friend on his own. Clearly, all of this trolling struck a nerve with Lil Durk, and not only did Durk lose Von, but over the years, he's lost over 30 friends to street violence.
Not just friends, nigga. Didn't D-Thang die like 3 years ago? That was his brother.
To the point where fans have speculated that he's actually cursed, as I broke down in
Keep that nigga the fuck away from me.
another video on the topic. And not only did Lil Durk lose Von in 2020, but in 2021, his beloved blood brother D-Thang was also murdered at a Chicago nightclub in another incident that was seemingly gang-related. Now, just being completely honest, I can't imagine being in that situation. I haven't lost a friend or relative to murder the same way that Durk has, and who knows how the average person would react under this sort of pressure and grief. But ultimately, Lil Durk should have.
I can't relate to what he just said. I definitely can relate. Not to the level, to the extent that Durk can relate, but I can definitely relate. Like I've known at least like a handful of people that shit's happened to. Girl I went to high school with, her baby daddy, you know what I'm saying? They had a fight or whatever, and he just, you know what I'm saying? He did that shit. Another one of my homeboy's friends, I had met her one time. She had came to the cribbo to drop off some shit. By the end of the summer, she was gone. She was dead too. Her same shit. Her ex-boyfriend did some weird shit. And then my other homeboy got faced. I mean that's just simply what happened. He got faced, bro. I mean, like this shit is crazy, bro. This shit happened.
Focused on.
That's why I don't be in street shit. I am a civilian. I'm a suburban.
I'm a suburban dude.
Music career, the success that he was having, and continuing to provide for his family and the people who relied on him. But it would seem that his apparent desire to slide and get revenge was actually stronger than his desire to chase money, success, and security for his loved ones. As he famously rapped on the song Wonderful Wayne and Jackie Boy with Babyface Ray, he would rather get revenge than get millions. And he would seemingly know his fate long before the murders happened when he rapped on his song Red Man that when people ask him where he think he'll be in 10 years, he replies, in federal custody. Ultimately, 2 years after Lil Pab was murdered, the indictment would claim in black and white that this murder was allegedly a get-back for the killing of King Von. But this wasn't a surprise to anyone who'd been paying attention, as within months of the murder of Lil Pab, Lil Durk and others close to him would begin to claim openly in music and on podcasts that Lil Durk had indeed slid for Von.
Oh, they did something. Oh, slide for him. Oh, you. Oh, yeah.
Slide for Von, right? Yeah.
You talking about by the slide for Von comments? I don't know if people still say
it. You can't say that no more.
Why? Oh yeah, cause of no.
For some reason I just don't see the comments no more. Some odd reason. I don't know. Might be the water.
This nigga's sick, bro.
You can't say that no more.
This nigga
because of Empty Cash? Or who?
Weirdo.
Who was that? You know we federal investigators and shit. Isn't FPG Cash his brother? Who's FPG Duck's brother? Is it Cash? FPG Brick. Man, it's a life of violence and death and shit, bro. It's a cycle, bro. Hey, bro, I'm so glad I chose to do what the fuck I chose to do, bro. I could be, anyway, whatever.
We different in Iraq.
Nah, cause Lil Pop.
I feel like you troll right there. Well, I never troll him. He got beat up too bad. He had it already. So you're not condoning more violence? What? Everybody you telling me about don't matter.
But it wasn't just interviews. In fact, just 4 months after the murder, Lil Durk and his OTF rap collective and label released a project titled Loyal Bros 2. And while many people missed it at the time, this entire project was wall-to-wall with jaw-dropping self-incrimination, not just from Durk, but his friends and label mates. In fact, when the indictment dropped, reports would soon begin to spread of an unidentified co-conspirator who had allegedly organized this murder and offered lucrative music opportunities to the other suspects. It could very well be the case that Lil Durk had actually offered his subordinates verses and feature opportunities in exchange for carrying out real murders. Unfortunately now, Lil Durk is charged with murder for hire in the case of Lil Pab, but the dark truth is, this very well may just be the tip of the iceberg. And ever since the paperwork dropped, there's been intense speculation as to whether this was a one-off incident, or had Durk actually spent several years using his power, status, and money to have numerous enemies murdered before rapping about it in front of the whole world for everyone to hear. The fact is, there's a total of 6 high-profile murders that Lil Durk is rumored to have orchestrated. So today, we're going to be taking a closer look at those cases to try and work out once and for all whether Lil Durk was really the mastermind behind this series of gruesome murders.
Holy. How do I tell you Lil Durk is this out?
Illinois, man. Lil Durk, Inglewood area, whole city, man. I'm saying we out here rapping, doing our thing. I got a big buzz, man. Trying to stay tuned, get rich. I'm just a young, I'm 17 years old.
Tell me a little bit about Inglewood.
You know, over now, where all the murders and all that happening right now.
I mean, Newski. They left his ass right here.
One of the other interviews, you said that your dad was caught with like $8 million, 6 bricks.
Yeah. That's why I want to be just like him.
Mr. Rapper accused in a shooting outside of the Varsity will move forward. Today, Lil Durk appeared in court where a judge ruled there was enough evidence for him to go to trial.
I have nothing to add.
If we into it for real, like, not no faking to it. If we into it, we...
Hey, I said this before. I don't know if I said this on stream. Vaughn had said in that video, he said, if we beefing, I don't give a fuck why we beefing. Just let me know that we beefing. I don't give a fuck why. Just let me know. I'm the same way. I don't need to know why, nigga. I just need to know.
Oh, no.
Lil Durk, real name Durk Devontae Banks, was born on October the 19th, 1992. According to his mother, LaShonda Woodard, who has written a memoir about her life, Durk, or Tay as his mother called him, shorthand for Devontae, was a problem child from early on who just couldn't stay still and was always getting into trouble. Durk and his 2 older siblings, his big brother Booney, better known as OTF D-Thang, and his big sister, Tuta, were not planned children, but rather, as his mother explains in her memoir, she would barely even know Durk's father when she would get pregnant unexpectedly with her oldest child D-Thang while they were both still in high school. And even after that, while Durk's father, Dante Banks, aka Big Durk, would help to provide for her and the kids, they were never officially together as a couple, even as she kept becoming pregnant due to failing to use contraception. And to make matters harder, Big Durk would end up getting locked up on serious charges when Lil Durk was only about 7 months old, as he would get busted for a major drug dealing operation in 1993, allegedly operating under the Gangster Disciple Nation, or GDN, and even having ties to the infamous founder of the gang himself, Mr. Larry Hoover, whom Big Durk would allegedly refuse to snitch on, ultimately winding up getting himself a life sentence that he would serve for over 2 decades, before successfully appealing his sentence and getting released in 2019. Anyway, Lil Durk and his family would spend his first years living in his grandmother's house and his mother's childhood home in the infamous Inglewood neighborhood, an address that would later become famous, being the name of his 7th studio album, the 7220 South Halsted Street. The family would get another addition in 1997 when Durk's mother gave birth to his younger sister, Tania. Sometime after that, the family would move to a Section 8 3-bedroom house on Laughlin Street. As a young schoolboy, Lil Durk would attend the Guggenheim Elementary School, located on 72nd and Morgan, a school school which district officials would call the worst elementary school in Illinois in 2012 when the school was eventually closed due to its poor performance. According to his mother, Durk was so out of control as a child that she literally couldn't work because of how often she would be called to the school due to his bad behavior. At only 9 years old, Durk would apparently even attempt to rob a Harold's chicken with his mother's gun that he had somehow found, with their neighbor actually then appearing at the family's front door holding Durk from his collar in one hand whilst holding the gun that they had taken from Durk in the other. Around the same age, Durk would also begin often fighting at school and stealing bikes, hiding them in the family's basement so that his mother wouldn't find them. But in his younger years, Durk was also very athletic, and he would be involved in the Jesse White Tumblers, an acrobatics program in Chicago, as well as playing basketball in his school's team. But unfortunately, both hobbies required him to keep up good grades at school in order to participate, which would ultimately take him away from sports altogether. Now, in order to get help with raising a young Lil Durk, his mother would eventually move back to live with Durk's grandmother at 7220 Halstead. But as Durk would later explain to Complex, this would do little to steer him away from trouble.
This is where it all started at, you know what I'm saying? Just the rap, the whole stop going to school. That's what we basically hopped out the streets when we came in. This house gave me intelligence, you know what I'm saying? It showed me to be a man, you know what I'm saying?
During his adolescence, Durk would become affiliated with two gangs from his neighborhood in Inglewood, Lamron and D-Town. Lamron would rep the streets between 62nd and 65th, with their main corner being on 64th and Normal Avenue. The name of the set, Lamron, in fact being normal, spelled backwards. But many members of Lamron would also rep the name OTF, which is now known to mean Only the Family. But OTF might not have always referred to Only the Family, as Durk's label is now known, because some have suggested that it actually originally stood for Only Trey Folks, a reference to the membership of the gang being made up exclusively of Black Disciples, a historic Chicago gang whose hand sign depicts them making a 3, or the Treys, a hand sign that was famously depicted on fellow BD drill rapper Chief Keef's Bang 3 mixtape. D-Town, on the other hand, was located directly north of Lamron, their main streets being 59th and 61st. Lamron and D-Town would also be very close with several other majority BD sets from the south side of Chicago, such as the now infamous Wick City, aka O-Block, located in the notorious Parkway Gardens housing projects known for rappers like Chief Keef and King Von, as well as TYMB, Blackgate, a crew known particularly for the rapper SD from Chief Keef's Glory Boys, Dipset, aka Front Street, known best for the late rapper Fredo Santana, Dog Pound, which is Durk's big brother D-Thang's gang set. There's also AMG, also known as Mac Block, or The Avenue, aka The Av. There's Low Life, and the much more famous 600 set, known for rappers like E-Day, Rondo No. 9, and the late LA Capone. Lamron and D-Town were also close with a set called Bang Bang Gang, or BBG, as can be seen from this picture in 2010, where Durk himself is portrayed together with this set's name, or in this 2010 music video, where Durk and Lil Reese shout out the set. In fact, one of the main members of Durk's OTF crew, Booney Mo, is allegedly from this majority black P-Stone set that reps 79th Street, sometimes going by the name 227, as well as an older name, Terror Dome. This set would gain an infamous reputation in the 2010s due to their long war with the GD set called Killer Ward, which in 2015 led to a highly publicized murder of a 9-year-old boy named Tyshawn Lee, whose father was an alleged member of the Killer Ward gang. Killer Ward is interestingly also known for being King Von's original hood before he would move to Parkway Gardens, or O-Block.
Right now I'm in an area called Killer Ward. This is where I grew up at. I went to grammar school on 6th and Walcott, like kindergarten or 8th grade. That's the area, so this played a big part of my life. I grew up here being bad, gang banging around here.
As Durk was getting increasingly into the street life, he would also begin his high school studies, first attending Percy Julian High School, located in the far south side of Chicago. But due to the long commute, he would soon transfer to the infamous Paul Robeson High School in Inglewood, another school that has since been closed due to its poor performance, and a school which many legendary people from the Chicago drill scene would attend in the early 2010s around the same time as Durk, including people like the late rapper Lil Jojo, who was from the Brick Squad set from 69th and Eggleston, their hood being located right next to that school, and this set having had a long-lasting beef with Lamron, D-Town, and other BD majority sets from around Inglewood. The rapper famous Dex also attended Robeson, Dex being from a GD set called Mo, or MOE, located in a large GD stronghold, a neighborhood referred to as No Love City, which would also beef heavily with Lamron and D-Town. The late rapper Lil Mister would also attend Robeson, even getting an opportunity to perform his drill anthems at the school. Lil Mister was from a set called Wooga World on 75th and Stewart, the set being very closely affiliated with Brick Squad and therefore also rivals to Lamron and D-Town. D-Town. As Durk's mother would recall in her memoir, Robeson had numerous rival gangs that would bring far more problems to Lil Durk's young life. And over time, he and his friends would begin to get into increasingly violent encounters with the gangs that they didn't get along with. Eventually, these beefs and schoolyard fights would escalate into shootings and killings, with one of the first major losses on Durk's side being a 17-year-old called Lil Mo. Real name Terrence Hollins, he would be gunned down in Lamron's hood in July of 2009, and according to online rumors, Mo was killed by a member of No Love City called Tonebone, but the facts regarding this case remain vague. Mo's death was clearly a major turning point for Lamron and D-Town, and they would pay tribute to him religiously. Durk, who had been getting into rapping around this time, would even make a tribute song to his fallen friend, this seemingly being one of the first of his old songs that can still be found on the internet. With Durk rapping to the classic beat from Lil Wayne and Gucci Mane's song We Be Steady Mobbin', Durk was clearly influenced by Lil Wayne's rapping style, and he was also seemingly into freestyling all of his lyrics on the spot. Now, the song is a far cry from the Durk drill anthems that he would produce just a few years later, but by its subject matter, the song was quite clearly a precursor to drill music as we know it today, as Durk would not only shout out other BD sets such as Dog Pound and the Av, but he would also diss numerous rival sets including No Love City, Brick Squad, and somewhat surprisingly also a set called Brick City, who were an older generation from the same hood as 600, a group of OTF allies from Washington Park, who would not long after become very close with Lamron and particularly Lil Durk personally. Also in 2009 is when Durk would begin to get in trouble with the law, as in November he would be arrested for vehicular hijacking. According to the police reports, an unknown person would first try and rob a woman's car by force, and as the police would later find the car in traffic near D-Town's hood, two men would exit the car and attempt to escape, but they would be caught. One of these men turned out to be a 17-year-old Lil Durk. According to the police, while in custody, either Durk or the other man would freely state that he had seen the car running for about 20 minutes with no one inside, so he decided to take it. However, despite this admission, it doesn't appear that Durk ever received any legal consequences from this incident. But then, only a month later in December, Durk would again be arrested, this time for criminal trespassing, as he was hanging out with 3 other people inside of a laundromat in Dog Pound's hood on 72nd and Halsted, and interestingly, Durk's gang affiliation in the arrest report would be marked incorrectly as Gangster Disciple, perhaps due to his father's affiliation with the gang being widely known amongst the Chicago Police Department. But anyway, coming into 2010, Durk was now a bona fide gang member, but he was also beginning to really focus on his rap career, and in April, he would drop his first ever music video for a song that was first titled Wasted Freestyle. However, for some reason, that same channel would then release the same music video again a few weeks later, but this time with the title Lamron Wasted. But these two are the same song. According to Durk's mother, this song would be an instant hit in Chicago, motivating Durk to focus on rap and take it seriously. And only about a month later, it was followed by another music video for a song titled L's. But this time, also the Grim Reaper of Chiraq himself, Lil Reese, would be in the mix, somehow having a flow and lyrics that were light years ahead of his more recent output, which was not lost on fans of Chicago drill when they would run into this video years later. Now, Durk would seemingly put much more effort into this song, finally resulting to actually writing down and thinking about his lyrics rather than simply freestyling. And the beat of the song was also much darker than his earlier tracks, foreshadowing the formation of the drill sound that was soon to follow and become huge. However, for whatever reason, he would not drop any more music during 2010, but coming into 2011, he would truly get into his bag, dropping numerous songs and music videos, including Sneak Dissin' in January, I'm a Hitter in March, which would help Durk land a radio interview on University of Chicago's WHPK 88.5. There was the track Rob Who with Lil Reese that dropped in May, a track 227K in June, which would be a diss song towards their old friends, the BBG, aka Terrordome, who they apparently had a falling out with, seemingly allying with Terrordome's enemy, the Killer Ward, instead. Another track called Too Many Say Day Drillin' with Lil Reese was posted on YouTube by none other than Chief Keef, who was also beginning to get a major buzz in the city for his music around this time as well. He would then drop the I'm a Boss freestyle in October, which would use the legendary beat from Meek Mill's song by the same name. In August, Durk would also release his first mixtape, titled after his song I'm a Hitter, hosted by DJ Twin. Durk's rap career would truly begin to flourish during 2011, the same time as the entire Chicago drill scene was beginning to pop off in the city. But 2011 wasn't only good times for Durk, as many developments would be going down in the streets, and in July, he would end up losing a person that was not only important to him, but also the entirety of the D-Town set, as an 18-year-old Tay-Ski, or Tay-Tay, real name Davonte Childress, was gunned down in D-Town's hood. Like Lil Mo on Lamron's side, Tay-Ski would become known as one of the first major losses for D-Town, and they would be so impacted by his passing, they would rename their hood Tay-Town, also known as TTE, which also means Threats to Everybody, or Tay-Town Entertainment. In his mixtape I'm a Hitter, that was released about a month after Tay-Ski's death, Durk himself would have a tribute song towards him titled Tay-Ski Crazy. Interestingly, unlike many other murders in Chicago, Chicago, this one would eventually actually be solved, and 2 people would end up being charged and found guilty: Antoine Reynolds and Marlon Boyce, both alleged members of a GD set called Shields, hailing from 57th and Shields. After Tay's murder, Lamron and Taytown would understandably be thirsty for revenge, and they would allegedly get that revenge the following year, when a member of the Shields named Travis Henry was shot and killed while sitting in his car in the Shields hood. Just like Taytown, Shields would pay tribute to their fallen friend by renaming their hood Travis World, whilst also claiming to be TTEK, or Taytown Killers. It would take 2 years for the police to finally find a suspect, but in 2014 they would charge a man for the murder of Travis, this man being none other than OTF DD, real name DeAndre Wilson, who was already back then one of Lil Durk's closest friends. However, by 2023, after almost a decade of fighting these charges, OTF DD would end up beating the case and walking away a free man. But back to 2011, Durk would find himself in trouble with the law once again, when he would be arrested in October for an aggravated UUW, or unlawful use of a weapon, as he was caught trying to hide his gun and flee from the police. However, the most interesting part about this arrest is the fact that the police were already looking for Durk due to an investigative alert with probable cause to arrest. Years later, rumors would begin to circulate online that the reason why not only Durk, but also Lil Reese were wanted during this time was due to a shooting in late August 2011 where 4 teens had gotten shot in Woodlawn, more specifically in the hood of the infamous set Jaro City. Fortunately, nobody would die in the shooting, although some of the victims would reportedly be taken to hospital in critical condition. Interestingly, the Grim Reaper himself, Lil Reese, would later state in a DJU interview how he had previously shot someone who had been on the same interview couch, with many fans thinking that Reese was talking about this very case and specifically referring to a well-known Jaro City member and infamous internet motormouth FBG Butter, who had indeed been on DJU's couch shortly before Lil Reese's interview.
I said you had a lot of goof on this couch. I've been watching lately.
Goof like who?
I'm not saying they name.
I've seen on this trying to pop before.
Butter would then return to DJU and seemingly admit that he was indeed one of the victims, whilst even providing possibly a motive for the shooting.
We op shopping. We go on 61st, we catch Lil Durk and Lil Reese inside the store. They scared as hell. But I ain't even know who Lil Reese and Durk was on folks' grade, right? Tutu get on folks' grade. Tutu coming at cheap. Cause we walked past them. Tutu double back. He on Tuka. On folks' grade, they ain't that scared as hell. They, boy, what's up, y'all with that? On Tuka, Lil B them get right on that. Hey, y'all with that? He with what, boy? Lil Reese getting that with what?
In addition to him saying we done had some goof.
What in the fuck do you have on your head, sir? What in the fuck do you have on your head, twin? What the fuck?
The couch. He was like, yeah, I popped one of these that's been on the couch. He ain't putting no names on it, so I guess if the shoe fit well, huh?
The shoe don't fit over here, gang.
But whatever the case may be, Durk would reportedly remain locked up for 3 months, during which time his girlfriend Nicole would give birth to his oldest son, Angelo, in November. Then, at the beginning of 2012, Durk would get back out and hit the streets running, dropping the song Off the Shits with Lil Reese in January 2012, along with a music video filmed by the legendary Chicago cameraman D. Gaines. Meanwhile, Lil Durk's friend Chief Keef's career was also heating up, dropping his music video for a song called 300 also in January, which would begin to make major noise in Chicago. Chief Keef would also make a cameo on Lil Durk's music video for the song Jack Boy, released in early March, while Durk had already been present during Keef's 2011 music video for his song Bang. Now, the world didn't know it yet, but the Chicago drill scene was about to go worldwide, as the pressure in this buzzing music scene was building and would eventually explode, influencing the entirety of hip-hop at large. On March the 11th, the blow-up, or should I say glow-up, would finally happen, as Chief Keef would drop drill's first nationwide hit, the iconic track I Don't Like, together with a music video where Keef and his buddies—
that shit is a classic, bro.
Including Lamron members Lil Reese and Ball Out, could be seen wildly dancing to the booming beat produced by Young Chop. Building on the success of I Don't Like, Durk would drop a major hit later in March himself, the drill classic L's Anthem, another auto-tuned banger dedicated to his Lamron set. Durk, together with the likes of Chief Keef and Lil Reese, were now the main faces of the new Chicago drill scene. In late April, Durk and Reese would both make a major announcement when it was revealed that they would both be signing to Def Jam, one of hip-hop's most historically significant record labels. But unfortunately, just as Durk's career was about to take off, he would have to go back to jail to finish his sentence for the UUW, keeping him out of the picture for several months, whilst his friends and family were trying to keep his buzz going. Durk would get out in July, this time hitting the streets with a new look and a new hunger, which would culminate in December with his third mixtape Life Ain't No Joke. featuring big names in the rap game like French Montana, Soulja Boy, and Yo Gotti. However, it would be Durk's next major move that would truly make him a household name, as in May 2013, he would drop the song This Ain't What You Want, together with his most professional looking music video until that point, probably enabled by Def Jam's big production budgets. Unfortunately for Durk, once again, right as his career was about to blow to that next level, he would get in trouble with the law once again, as he was arrested for another UUW in June, after police would catch him red-handed with a stolen Glock. In May 2014, his cousin OTF Nunu, aka Newski, who was also Durk's new up-and-coming artist, would be brutally murdered in his car while he was waiting for Durk, who had gone into a nearby store. Durk's ops then would use pictures that were taken of Durk grieving at the scene to mercilessly troll him online. But Durk's problems wouldn't end there, because in November 2014, he would once again get arrested and charged with another UUW, this now being his third gun case. However, the murder charge would eventually end up getting dropped, and even with Durk seemingly admitting ownership of the guns, where he dropped the legendary one-liner, "I got those pipes, cause MFs always be trying to take my bands," he would seemingly also get away scot-free with the UUW charges. But while Durk had yet again dodged a major bullet that could have ended his career, that career would actually hit somewhat of a rough patch during these years. And it just so happened that around this time, someone from Durk's old circle would get back into the streets, ready to put his crazy story out there for the whole world to hear. And that someone was none other than King Von. Lil Durk's most famous OTF signee, King Von, is often described as one of Chicago drill's best storytellers, and he's seen as probably
I think he is the best one. Von, bro, the way Von could break a story down, nigga, was incredible. That shit was insane.
Genre's most authentic voice. Von's real life truly matched the gritty and violent themes that he was rapping about, and in many ways, King Von was a larger-than-life character, a rapper that arguably single-handedly brought the Chicago drill genre back and took gangster rap to daring new heights. But also, unfortunately, in the streets, King Von was a prolific killer, with a rumored 7 murders under his belt. As I mentioned earlier, King Von originally grew up in a hood called Killer Ward, located in the Auburn Gresham neighborhood, but he would later move to the infamous Parkway Gardens, better known as O Block, a hood that's been affiliated with Durk's Lamron set for a long time, when it was
and Michelle Obama,
still known as Wick City, that meant wild, insane, and crazy, with both sets united by the fact that they rep the 64th Street or 064. Durk and Von's friendship goes back long before Von's rap career, with Reddit rumors suggesting that they actually knew each other since the late 2000s or early 2010s, while Von himself would state in an interview that they'd known each other since Von was in the 6th or 7th grade.
How'd you guys meet? Growing up, same area, hoods, you know how that go? Around like 6th grade or something, 7th grade.
But didn't go to the same school?
No, I'm younger.
One story that underscores the bond between King Von and Lil Durk is from 2014, when Lil Durk supposedly lent King Von his watch to take to the prom of his then girlfriend at the time, a girl called Mena Red, who's actually the sister of Von's old friend, the rapper Tay 600, nowadays better known as Tay Capone. In an interview with Karen Civil, Durk would recall the story, explaining how Von would get locked up the very next day.
I think he was going on prom. I gave him my watch to go on prom. He go on prom, he locked up the next day with it. So when he came out, it was like, oh yeah, we locked in.
According to online rumors, the reason for Von's arrest would be a shooting that Von did on the way to prom with Lil Durk's very good
I remember that. Yeah, he did.
friend Lil Varney. And there's actually a picture of King Von toting a pistol in a white prom suit that still circulates online. Now this was actually a shooting too that Von would later allegedly talk about in his song Don't Wanna Be Me, when he raps how the police would catch him right after the shooting, but Mena Red would seemingly attempt to claim their guns and take the case for them, as Von would eventually get charged with the May 2014 murder of a young man named Malcolm Stuckey. Von would later reveal that while he was locked up for this murder, Durk was one of the few people consistently taking care of him.
When I got locked up for the drama, like Durk was the main one supporting me, helping me. So we got even closer when I was just in jail. Then I got out. He flew me out there with him, got the rapping. So me and Durk, we like.
Von would eventually beat his charges and get released in December 2017, and Durk would almost immediately take him under his wing and out of the reckless street life that nearly destroyed his life. And soon after, King Von would sign to Lil Durk's OTF collective, and inspired by Durk's success, he too would turn to rap as a means of changing his life.
King Von, V-O-N,
King Von,
K-I-N-G.
What made you want to sign King Von?
Cause he got a whole story behind him. You know what I'm saying? He from O Block.
Bro, he said some shit during this interview, and I can't remember. I think it was Durk. Von had said some shit, and Durk was like, "Yo, bro, shut your ass up, nigga."
Have you ever been convicted of?
He a dead star nigga.
Have you ever
No experience is doing nothing. I ain't, you know.
That shit was so funny, bro.
Okay. What's your story?
My story. I just got to jail for just beat a body in 2 attempts. Like, what, December?
How you beat that?
What you mean? I
mean, you didn't do it, clearly. But I mean, like, how?
You
had something to throw young black man in jail.
Like, jury, like, you know. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
shut
jury.
your
Yeah,
ass.
look, you know.
Shut
That's
up, nigga.
expensive too, to take it to trial and all of that.
Yeah.
Von's breakout moment would come just weeks later in December 2018 with the song Crazy Story, a vivid depiction of a robbery gone wrong. The song's powerful storytelling captivated listeners and amassed over 100,000 views on its first day, which shocked even Von himself. But their shared success wasn't without turbulence. In February 2019, not even a year
Didn't
after...
Von say some shit like he robbed Durk? He had robbed Durk one time, like he had took some shit from his act. He didn't want to ask him for it.
I wasn't no rapper, so it wasn't none of that rapping shit. I'm thinking I just need to get 100,000. I'm gonna be decent. I'm gonna rob this, and I'm trying to rob this other. They say, "What you gonna do?" I say, I'm gonna go around Durk, and I'm just gonna catch me him off, and I'm gonna catch me 2-3 more. You see what I'm saying? And Durk, I ain't gonna let him know because he gonna try to stop me.
Von had signed to OTF and begun dropping music. Durk and Von would allegedly take part in an incident that would land them an attempted murder case in Atlanta. Allegedly, an altercation would take place outside of the Varsity restaurant, where Durk and Von, along with their friend and fellow OTF affiliate THF Bezu, as well as another Chicago rapper AAB Hella Bands, would allegedly shoot and rob a man by the name of Alexander Witherspoon. Police would claim that Durk was caught on camera during the incident firing from his custom Jeep Trackhawk with a large 300 printed on the side. But the surveillance footage of the incident was seemingly from an angle that left much ambiguity to who had ultimately been the one shooting.
That car was shooting and that one too.
As weeks passed following the incident, Lil Durk and King Von continued their lives as if nothing had happened. In May 2019, the facade would come crashing down as King Von was ultimately arrested, with dramatic footage showing over 30 Chicago police officers swarming O-Block to take him into custody.
Stay on the ground. Stay on the ground. Gang, why y'all grab me? What the f*** y'all?
Then another tragedy would strike just a week later, when AAB Hella Bands, real name Amir Golston, was gunned down outside of a Miami nightclub in the early hours of the morning. AAB Hella Bands, who's from the so-called Wild 100s in the far south side of Chicago, had allegedly killed another rapper in 2015 who went by the name of Chris Smokes. Allegedly, 4 years after Hella Bands had killed Chris, a member of the LSG by the name of Austin Hall would fly to Miami to kill Hella Bands as revenge for his fallen friend, catching him in front of a busy nightclub, with the assassination being caught on video surveillance. 2 days after Hella Bands' death, THF Bezu would be arrested in Chicago as a fugitive from justice, allegedly tied to the same Atlanta shooting. However, despite Von and Durk's legal troubles, their music careers had flourished. Just weeks after Von's arrest for the shooting and robbery incident, the remix for his hit song Crazy Story featuring Lil Durk would drop, becoming a massive hit, even landing the track on the Billboard Global 200. 1 week after the release of this remix, Lil Durk took to Twitter to announce that he would be turning himself in for the same crimes the following day. But before doing so, he would actually sit down for a TV interview in his lawyer's office, where he claimed his innocence and vowed that he had moved past the street gang life of his youth.
You're about to surrender as we speak.
Yeah.
How come?
Because I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to run from.
A rapper's ride. Soon after we spoke, Dirk Banks, a.k.a. the performer.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. If there's anything you can do to make yourself look like you didn't do the crime, even if you did, is to turn yourself in. I ain't gonna lie. Because why would, yeah, you're right. Why would you, if you did that shit, why you turning yourself in and not trying to become a ghost?
Emerged from his
I'm trying to be Harry
space
Houdini.
and headed toward an SUV. Soon after that, he stepped out in front of the Fulton
Sad as
County
hell.
Jail.
Nigga's eyes are big as shit. He always looks sad as fuck. He either looks sad or scared.
Atlanta after he found out he was wanted.
We found out we had a warrant. We actually on tour. Once I heard, I immediately came back.
He's willing to turn himself in and take care of what he needs to take care of.
We immediately canceled the tour.
He's got a multi-million-dollar salary music career going.
Did you do it? Did you?
Nigga, if I did, why the fuck would I say that on... Okay, bro.
Shoot this man. Did you commit the other crimes of which you're accused?
No.
Of course he did. He's a fucking thug.
Lock him up!
Yeah,
His lawyer told him not to discuss the specific facts of the case, but he confirmed what his attorney Manny Aurora said, that as a youth, Banks was drawn into the gang life that surrounded him in Chicago, but that's not who he is today.
Not long after this, Durk and Von would appear together in what would become an iconic court appearance, solidifying their image as the evil twins, who weren't just rappers from the same area, but a dynamic duo of gangsters ready to get shooting at a moment's notice.
The prosecutor charging this wasn't just a robbery and shooting, but gang activity. She put a Chicago detective on the stand to testify that Banks and Bennett are members of Chicago gangs.
Is it possible to continue your affiliation and even commit crimes when you move out of Chicago if you're in a different city?
Absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Following some intense legal back and forth,
Man, nigga, you ain't in the crew. How the fuck would you know, nigga? You a cop, bro. You don't know shit, bro. Bro, you ain't even in the game, bro. How you hate from outside the club? You can't even get in.
The rapper is not a flight risk and granted him a $250,000 bond.
celebrating his release, he would hop on Instagram Live, visibly relieved as he ran out of jail.
They told you 15 minutes, I'm gonna get 30. Okay, oh, we were still waiting on the driver to come up. Just hop in, we waiting on the driver.
Another car's about to pull up.
Wait. What did that shit just say? Hold up. Since you cocky with your head, we crack your melon. Who is this? Tay Corleone? You just exposed yourself. You're cooked. Cops, get him now!
Just stay right here. Another car's about to pull up.
Hey, you know what's so funny though? The reason why that comment made me gravitate, my eyes gravitated towards that comment, is because low-key, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, why y'all dumb niggas waiting on your driver in your city? I mean, like, you have to be stupid as fuck, be a crash-out demon to shoot this nigga in front of the precinct. But niggas will do it. Niggas be killing niggas in broad day these days. Niggas will do anything. They know exactly who you are, and they know exactly how to get to you. And they know that you can't go nowhere because you're driving out in the car right now. That's a bad look.
During the live session, Durk would tease fans by mentioning that King Von would be coming home the very next day.
Von will be home tomorrow.
Shortly afterward, Durk would proceed to do an interview on his time in jail from his home.
Then when you get in type of that, in a predicament like this, you would sit back and be like, damn, like why I ain't never do this more? Why I ain't never do this with my kids more? Why I ain't do this with my pops more or my mama? You know what I'm saying? So it just set me down, so I just understand life more.
Von's release would come a few days later, after he was granted a bail of $300,000. However, one of the conditions of their release was that Durk and Von could not be in contact with one another this evening.
Yeah, that's why they were the only time they talked was in the courtroom, because they couldn't be in communication. That's what I was talking about earlier.
Applying to promo runs and club appearances, with the judge essentially breaking up the evil twins for good. For real, these two childhood friends couldn't speak to each other for a pretty extended period in this time. This is something that Von would actually comment on during his March 2020 interview on No Jumper.
Yeah.
Isn't you and Durk, you're
that and this is where I know that from. I'm telling you, like, I be everywhere. I'm a fly on the wall, nigga. I know a lot of shit. It ain't just politics. It ain't just games. I know a lot of shit, bro. There's a lot of things going on in this noggin, bro. Stop playing with me.
your probation or whatever is such that you're not supposed to be associating with other people who are part of the case. So is it like a thing where you're not supposed to be around each other?
Yeah, so yeah, me and Durk, we only see each other like at court if we got court.
So even when you're on tour, you can't really be around each other too much?
Only was having shows because of Durk.
Right.
Like he pulling me on his, you see what I'm saying? So I'm only going places with Durk. I'm only doing. So
yeah, so that is all fucked up.
Damn no.
Yeah.
They put the case. You can't be around Durk no more. You can't move. So now I was only in the studio with Durk. I was on it. So now do everything on your own.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Bro, I low-key miss Vaughn. What the fuck, bro? Oh my God, bro. That nigga was making some good-ass music too, bro. I mean, it wasn't. Let me take that back. His music was not good. His shit was hard, but his shit was not good, bro. Good will be positive music, bro.
To understand the origin of this beef between Lil Durk's OTF and Youngboy's NBA, or Never Broke Again collective, which would eventually end up leaving both Von and Quando Rondo's cousin Lil Pab dead, and Durk fighting for his life behind bars, we have to go all the way back.
I thought he was saying he was both of their cousins. I was like, wait, what?
To where it started, and it all started with Von. In late 2017, Lil Durk had dropped the song My Side that featured NBA Youngboy. In the song, Durk would acknowledge that he and Youngboy were a cut above the rest when it came to the rap game, and that they were setting the bar for the others. Durk was clearly a big fan of Youngboy, as well as fellow singing southern street rapper Quando Rondo, who was signed to Youngboy's NBA label, as Durk would actually name both of them in an Instagram post where he listed his favorite 50 rappers of all time.
Hey, bitch! Hold up. I want to see something. I want to see something. 50 greatest rappers of all time. Meek Mill, Lil Baby, Lil Uzi, Lil Durk. Why you put yourself on that list? I guess Juice WRLD. Oh my God, bro. Fucking love Juice WRLD. RP, bro. RP PNB, bro. RP Von, bro. $dollar signs like Tory Lanez. Okay. You know I don't see on this list? Kendrick Lamar. Out of all the niggas I see on this list, I don't see no Kendrick. I see Drake. I see J. Cole. I see Juice WRLD. I see Roddy Ricch, who's K-Dot's lil homie. We got X, Tory, Polo G, Chance the Rapper, Lil Skies, Uzi, Baby, Drake, Durk himself, Moneybagg Yo, G Herbo, Juice WRLD, Lil Key, Chief Keef, Migos. No Kendrick. Yo, what the culture villain? Stupid ass boy.
Furthermore, in my opinion, the influence of Youngboy and Quando's style, a very unique approach of singing and using auto-tune to tell stories from the streets, really resonated with Durk and inspired him to keep making more of that same auto-tuned pain music. Youngboy, Quando Rondo, and OTF had a seemingly amicable relationship up to this point. In February 2019, Von and Quando were seen hanging out backstage at a show and filming a skit where Quando actually would diss Von's ops from 63rd Street in Chicago.
I'm saying though, they are 63rd.
Dirty as hell. I'm joking, bro. Chill.
Things seemed really positive between these two groups, but that was all about to change when a year and a half later, in early 2019, Von would hop on IG Live to call out Youngboy, claiming that he had lies or cap in his raps.
Youngboy talking about on this song, bro.
What?
You talking crazy on this.
Oh, yeah?
You talking crazy on this motherfucker.
On this, man. Cap. You got
cap in your route.
However, in August 2019, King Von would surprisingly tweet a welcome home message to Youngboy following his release from jail. So despite their growing tensions, there appeared to be a brief sense of camaraderie between these groups. Around the same time, Von would actually begin incorporating some of Youngboy's rhetoric into his own style, further blurring the lines between respect and rivalry. In February 2020, King Von suggested that he and NBA Youngboy had actually worked on music together, even calling on Youngboy publicly to release the track on Twitter. In May, Durk would release his 5th studio album, Just Cause Y'all Waited 2, a sequel to a mixtape that he had dropped back in 2018. The album would debut at number 5 and later became his first album to reach the top 2 on the Billboard 200. But as Durk celebrated his album rollout, King Von would be out instigating the beef and prodding Youngboy. And in August, he would tweet a cryptic message to his fans claiming that they wouldn't believe the woman he had just made a hit song with. Later that same day, photos surfaced online of Von with Jania Michelle, the mother of NBA Youngboy's child, sparking a social media frenzy. Von escalated the drama by insinuating on Twitter that he had a sex tape with Jania and hinting that he could release something that could make someone stop claiming their kids. Jania quickly denied the rumors, attempting to shut down the speculation. However, leaked messages suggested that Von's actions were less about Jania and more about getting under Asian Doll's skin, revealing that his supposed collaboration with Jania was an effort to provoke Asian Doll, who he'd apparently split up with at this point.
Oh, nah, I've seen that in them DMs. I've been seeing it. She's lying. I've been seeing it. Been on dick. I've been seeing it. None of this not a surprise. This is just on the internet right now, you know what I'm saying? I've been new.
The very next day, NBA Youngboy would respond with an Instagram post aimed squarely.
Oh, isn't that he said I'm gonna make he said I'm gonna make sure my son fuck your daughter on me. I remember when this is all really recent, bro. Holy shit. I remember seeing this on Instagram. Like dead ass.
And in a shocking move, Youngboy captioned the post with a vow to make sure that his son sleeps with King Von's daughter, turning the trolling into a deeply personal and slightly weird attack.
Man, this ain't gonna do nothing to me.
I ain't gonna lie, that's cap. Respectfully, Von put the paws on your ass before he got killed.
At this point, the beef between Von and Youngboy had now broadened to include numerous people from both sides, and in September 2020, King Von would tweet what appeared to be a direct threat towards Quando Rondo and NBA Youngboy, saying that he hoped God had space for both of them. The following day, Quando Rondo's right-hand man, Lil Tim, would fire back on Twitter, warning Von and the other Chicago rappers to think twice before messing with Quando. But Von, unfazed, would respond the day after, saying that he'd been fighting his whole life and he could punch hard as hell. Around this time, Von would also begin publicly claiming that he was single and too focused on his career to be in a relationship. However, he would still be spotted at a club with Youngboy's baby mama, Jania Michelle. 2020 was truly King Von's year. He had dropped 2 successful mixtapes back-to-back,
in more ways than one, bro.
On Volume 1 and LeVon James, and he was priming himself for a blockbuster debut with the much-anticipated project Welcome to O-Block coming. But also, by October, Von had shifted his focus to promoting his new song.
You funny as hell for that one.
Mine Too, a track that was subtly dissing
Von is funny as hell. That's what I'm saying, bro. Just like even like in the way that he just presents his shit. Mine Too. Talking about fucking some other nigga's bitch, say she mine too.
Boy, as he would rap about how somebody's girl was Von's too, whilst also mentioning having beef in the NOLA, or New Orleans and Louisiana, the latter being Youngboy's home state. Also in October, Von would tweet that once a girl lets another man in, he would no longer want her, leading fans to speculate that he was referencing Asian Doll, possibly moving on, and rumors would then begin swirling that Von's ex-Asian Doll had actually met up with Youngboy, a claim that emerged after DMs from people in Youngboy's camp leaked. Meanwhile, Durk was going on the musical run of a lifetime. His momentum as a rapper was truly back, partly off the back of the street credibility that he'd received from his collaboration with Von, landing a blockbuster collaboration with rap's biggest star Drake in the form of the song Laugh Now, Cry Later, dropping in August, a track that swiftly went to number 2 on the Billboard charts. And Durk was gearing up to drop his 6th studio album, The Voice, releasing its title track in September 2020, while NBA Youngboy, on the other hand, was on a generational run in the rap game, releasing back-to-back #1 albums and flooding the market.
Hey, both of them shits was hard. What the fuck? Both of them shits was hard.
With music in a way that proved that you could...
Those 2 albums? Holy shit, bro. Shit, I think I listened to that bit like a couple days ago. These niggas just talk like killers. All I want with my hitters. Come on, bro. That shit goes stupid.
Quantity at the very pinnacle of the rap game. He was also catching cases left, right, and center, and he was certainly one of the realest, if you will, gangster rappers to have ever done it, especially at that level at this point. But Youngboy was also still being petty and entertaining the beef. He would actually release a snippet in early November of a song that he had apparently recorded with Asian Doll with the threatening title Meet the Reaper, clearly taking a deadly hint towards this beef with Von. A dig which Von would respond to by tweeting that the song was trash and claiming that his and Janeer's collaboration was much better. He would then even hint at having compromising pictures of Janeer, but then later backtracked, saying that he was only joking and that if Asian Doll was happy, then he's happy too. But the song was still trash. In an interview with DJ Academics, Von would downplay
last interview
the feud with Youngboy, saying that the internet was blowing it out of proportion.
He died. I think he died the next day. He died the day after this. Dead ass.
People told me you and Youngboy was beefing or something like that. You said something about what happened, Von? What's going on with you, man?
They be saying that a lot. It's like we got the same interests and then you know how the internet will try to make it.
Don't tell me I got problems over girls.
Bro, this nigga was a Hall of Fame gaslighter, bro. This nigga Von was a Hall of Fame gaslighter, bro. You can't tell me shit. He was a Hall of Fame gaslighter, bro. Unmatched, bro.
Gang. It's the you know, they try to make it like that because it's the internet. You see what I'm saying? And then you know how females will try to make it like that.
Hell yeah.
Because they females and they try to make it like one motherfucker hard and try to. It be just all type, but it ain't nothing too serious, nothing to worry about.
Tragically though, Von had no idea just how serious the situation was about to become, and only a few days later, events would escalate far beyond anyone's expectations. As has now been covered extensively in the media, on November the 6th, 2020, King Von would tragically lose his life in a shooting outside of the Monaco hookah.
What was that interview, bro? At max, it was 2 days. It was like November 4th or something. Told you. I'm on it, bro. I'm with the dates, nigga. November 4th. 2 days. So it was 2 days, not one. It was 2 days. Well, technically it was. Whatever. He got shot and then he died. Whatever. So, yeah, like I said, it was max 2 days.
Lounge in Atlanta.
It was like immediately after the interview. Like he was dead within the next couple of days.
The incident, which was captured on security cameras, seemingly began from Von initiating a fight with Quando Rondo. This unprovoked sucker punch would immediately descend into a full-blown jumping, and chaos would break out between Von and Quando's entourages, during which time Quando's right-hand man Lil Tim would quickly exit a car that he was sitting in before calmly going around it and shooting at King Von, who was hit numerous times and would later pass away in the hospital. Adding an eerie layer to this tragedy, Lil Durk would be on Instagram Live when the news of Von's shooting broke, with fans flooding the comments letting Durk know what had happened, and after seemingly reading these messages, Durk would abruptly end the live. The hours that followed saw a media frenzy as tributes and reactions poured in. Durk took to Instagram to mourn his close friend, sharing a heartfelt post where he simply told Von he loved him. But while Durk was grieving, unfortunately, the internet wouldn't be kind to him, as in the midst of Durk mourning the loss of his friend, who was known as one of Chicago's most feared gangsters, who never let a violation go unchecked, online, the phrase "slide for Von" would become synonymous with Lil Durk amongst fans of drill music, popularized by none other than Rainbow Head rapping snitch 6ix9ine. The trolling and troll.
God damn. God damn, why you have to say it like that? Rainbow-haired rapping snitch 6ix9ine. Holy fuck.
The trolling and troll-looking rapper commented on Lil Durk's tribute post for Von, how Durk had first lost Newski and now Von, and that he was still just rapping, telling him to go and pick up a gun instead. 6ix9ine.
Damn, yo, this thing is on timing. Yo, that's 7 minutes after he posted, gang. Yo, this nigga was on timing. What the fuck? That nigga got no post notifications turned on. What the fuck?
Trolling and troll-looking rapper
commented
on Lil Durk's tribute post for Von, how
7 minutes is diabolical,
bro. He was still just rapping, telling him to go and pick up a gun instead. 6ix9ine would continue his provocations during an appearance on DJ Academics' Off the Record podcast, accusing Durk of knowing who killed Von and doing nothing about it. Fans would quickly adopt the "Slide for Von" slogan, using it relentlessly to troll Durk in the months following Von's death. Durk would respond to the "Slide for Von" narrative, stating that none of them slid for their people, so that they should stop talking about killing to him. However, at this point, it's...
Well, Mr. Man, every nigga that I could slide on, well, I mean, Like, I can't do nothing about it, bro.
Like every post that Durk made on social media will become the target for comments demanding retribution for Von. People on Reddit would hold polls asking whether or not they believed that Durk would slide for Von, with the results showing a near even split, 53% voting no and 47% expecting vengeance. On December the 24th, 2020, Durk would release his much-awaited album, The Voice, which he would dedicate to King Von. The album would peak at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, and on January the 10th, 2021, he would tease a deluxe version that would later drop on January the 29th, 2021 with 12 additional tracks. Despite the losses that he was suffering, Durk's career still had an incredible momentum like he'd never seen before. During 2021, he would be featured on multiple hit songs such as No More Parties remix by Coi Leray, which reached number 26 on the Hot 100, Every Chance I Get by DJ Khaled, which hit number 20, No Return by Polo G that hit number 26, Sharing Locations with Meek Mill peaking at number 22, Jonah with Kanye West hitting number 27, In the Bible, another collab with Drake that hit number 7, and Who Wants Smoke with Nardo Wick going number 17 on the Billboard Hot 100. Durk was hot, and he was quickly becoming a fan favorite in the rap game. Genuinely, it was this hot run that made him the voice of the streets. However, despite all the success he was having in the music industry, clearly being at a loss in the streets was still having an impact on Durk's mindset, and he would even hint at the way that he was thinking in his new music. On October the 15th, 2021, Durk would release the emotionally charged track Pick Me Off, where Durk made it clear that he couldn't find peace until revenge was achieved, before following through with a promise of retribution. The music video for the song would show Durk far away from the studios and clubs of Atlanta, but actually back in his home turf in Taytown's hood on 59th and Princeton. But in the meantime, rapper NLE Chopper would say in an interview with DJ Academics that he had actually tried to convince Durk not to retaliate musically.
When after this happened with Von and all that, a lot of all that was happening, bro, I was the one really in bro ear, like, know what I'm saying? I don't want to be this person in your ear to be like, know what I'm saying? Let this chill, like, don't move on it. But bro, I'm gonna be that person to let you know, bro, like, this cycle we in as black men is a never ending cycle. Cause at the end of the day, bro, we one person, we got one conscious mind.
I don't know all that shit. I don't know what all that shit.
Black, white, Hispanic, whatever, we are a human being and we are one race. So when you do something, this why I know what's up with life now. This why I don't do nothing out of spite to people.
Only a month later though, Lil Durk would drop the song Aha, a fiery diss that instantly went viral, amassing over 100 million views on YouTube. And in the song, Lil Durk would directly address the feud, opening with a bar that made it clear that he wasn't about to take NLE Chopper's advice about not responding to Von disses, instead telling his goons to go and pick up a gun. Unfortunately, as we all know now from the alleged indictment, it seemed that despite the promise of his rising rap career, Durk was completely consumed by seeking revenge for Von. And in the years that followed, Durk would seemingly set into motion a series of events that would ultimately see him and his friends in jail, fighting for their lives and freedom. But interestingly, whilst this was already going on, and before Von had even been killed, it would appear that behind the scenes, when Von was alive, he, perhaps with the assistance of Lil Durk, was continuing to wage war on their shared enemies, without a care for the survival of his budding rap career. Only a few months before Von died, there would be another prominent murder in Chicago, seemingly orchestrated by Von and carried out by a number of people who were close friends of both Von and Durk. And with Von being dead by the time these charges came to light, Durk would end up being the biggest name associated with the murder. And with Von's death still going unavenged at this point, Durk would seemingly continue to carry the torch, doing exactly what Von did, using his music and lyrics as a megaphone to tell the world about him and his crew's murderous ways, laying the groundwork for the authorities to build up a picture of Durk and Von as violent kingpins, using their fame and money to have anyone they didn't like killed without a care. And I'm of course talking about the murder of FBG Duck.